Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 379. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo,
Adam Vale,
Yo, how you doing? How you doing?
and Brian Manjoma.
That leak was right again.
Oh, that NVIDIA leak. That NVIDIA leak, man. It's crazy. Carlos, let's do a little bit of a test, actually. Can you talk some more?
I'm talking as much as I can. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Is the new yo? I passed by Brooklyn. I'm Carlos Two-Borough.
That's it. Yeah, a
No,
little
you Carlos Three-Borough because then
three
you go to
borough.
Queens.
Yeah, he went to Queens,
Yeah,
too.
he did have to come through Queens.
Yep.
So
When I have been to the Bronx, Staten Island is the only one I have.
Okay, so yeah, you're for borough then, you know?
You could just all you gotta do is take the ferry, go over and circle back, and there you go. You hit all five.
Well, tomorrow's your last day, right, Carlos?
Tomorrow's my last day officially.
Uh-oh.
It's been a long and extraneous journey.
I'm surprised you didn't take the ferry so you could see the Statue of Liberty, or at least go to Liberty Island. I don't know if this opened. Liberty Island.
I saw the Statue of Liberty when I came here the first time. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I've been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
All right, no Chris action. He's doing some work, and Brett will be here if he's here. If not, we don't know. We shall see what happens. By the way, speaking about Richard Bailey Jr., he's the guy who's asking us our first question of the night.
what?
Excuse me?
Who that?
Is it?
Who that? Controversial question.
Uh-oh.
Not really. Who on the throwdown? And he's joking about this, being rich. So imagine who on the throwdown team is looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3, and they do the rich laugh. Kingdom Hearts 4, yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. So on a Sunday, like 9 a.m., they just announced this shit.
Actually, not a Sunday, but in Japan, it's a different time.
Yeah, but in the West, it's a
Monday
yeah,
in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. But over here, it's a Sunday. So everybody woke up. We're like, what the fuck? Well, not me because I Kingdom Hearts. Me being me, I go on Twitter. I'm like, Kingdom Hearts 4. Why? Because I thought the shit was done. But I was definitely in the minority because I don't know how you guys saw, at least on Twitter. It was just hype. Motherfuckers making reaction videos, crying, all that stuff.
Is it the same dude that's crying?
Yeah. Actually, by the way, I'm being facetious about the crying, but I did see some of the reaction videos like, oh my god.
No. But that's the thing. We've seen it. So
yeah. Oh no, with Nintendo, that's real. But I'm talking about for this specific instance, I didn't see crying, but I did see, the usual reaction videos. With the mouth open and the white. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh my God, it's incredible. I've been waiting my whole life for this. I canceled work today. I just watching videos. Like, dudes went crazy. And I'm like, why? Kingdom Hearts, really? Like, it's, and I guess my question, I know we already have a question already, but my question to you guys, where is this hype coming from? Is it just pure nostalgia? Is it a love for Disney?
Dude, it's a series that's been around since the beginning, since the launch of PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so it is nostalgia.
It's a 20-year-old franchise, man.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about like even the initial thing. Like, I remember when it first came out, I was like, "This is stupid."
No, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I thought it was stupid too, but I liked Disney stuff and I liked the Square Enix stuff. So it's like, okay, it's if you took Disney shit and you put Square Enix like overcomplicated stories, and that's what you get.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Japanese? I thought it was all audio was in Japanese.
No.
Subtitles, or did they actually add?
No, they've always had. Remember, Haley Joel Osment was the main dude.
Haley Joel Osment is Sora. He's been Sora since this thing has been around so freaking long that Haley Joel Osment is like a man now.
Yeah, he looks like John Goodman now.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4. So the question was like, are we looking forward to it? I think I already answered the question. So, Manny, you're like the main Kingdom Hearts guy here.
I'm the only Kingdom Hearts guy in this show.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks really nice. Like they aged up Sora yet again, so now he looks like he's in his 20s now. Like he should, because he's a bit. At least he should at least be in his If he was 10 years old, he should at least be in his 30s at this point.
So there's not a new character. It's just still the same.
No, it's the same. It's the same kid, just old, looking older, and that's about it. And it's supposedly running on Unreal 4, and they said they're gonna run it on Unreal 5. So. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, you don't get to see much. You just see this sort of like hyper realistic looking version of these characters.
There was a little bit of gameplay towards the end, though. You know,
Yeah, but
or quote unquote gameplay.
I can't consider that really gameplay because I think it's about as much as gameplay as it was when they announced Kingdom Hearts 3. You know, at the PlayStation 4 announcement thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I think it's a proof of concept video, but I don't think it's actual real gameplay.
Yeah,
To be honest.
I tweeted. I'm like, hey, look, now we're gonna have spiky anime characters running around Encanto. You know, like they're gonna have bringing those new movies and shit.
No, that it's gonna be Encanto.
Star Wars.
It's gonna be well. We don't know about Star
It
Wars.
could. It's all Disney, right? Theoretically,
It's all Disney, but like they've never like
And
they had
maybe Turning Red. I don't know.
because the way I see it, I'm like they already had Pirates of the Caribbean, so
they had Pirates of the Caribbean,
You know.
but like it's you would say even Marvel, but they still
They
haven't
could.
even. Well, actually, they did do Big Hero 6, and that's Marvel kind of.
yeah. I think this game may have that. It has a potential for it.
Yeah.
But it's obviously gonna have stuff like Encanto and all that shit. You know.
Yeah, it's gonna have Turning Red. It's gonna have whatever new Disney things are gonna be on there.
Encanto.
And I know one guy on Twitter when I said like when you said why, I'm like, why not? Like because of money.
Yeah,
whatever.
money. That's an obvious answer. But I'm like,
I mean, the thing about it is that the guy's like, yeah, I don't understand the Kingdom Hearts thing. To be honest, I play the games, I don't understand it either. But at the same, because it's an overly complicated storyline just to say, hey, we mix Square Enix characters with with Disney characters.
Exclusive to PlayStation?
No, I mean at least the last one hadn't. Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't.
wasn't it? I thought it was that exclusive. I could be wrong about that. I'll
Was
look it up. I'll look it up.
I mean,
I honestly don't know.
There was one. We've talked, man.
Well, the first ones were on PlayStation only. I know that.
yeah, one
Didn't we talk about
and
posters in
2
the
were
city?
on.
We was talking about, there's all these posters
Yeah, it's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and
Yeah,
PC
it's-
and Switch. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, well, they just put it on Switch.
Oh,
didn't know
check this out. Okay, so wait, hold on. Did it come out on PS4 first and then later on? I don't know.
Yeah, it
It's
came out
Atomic
PS4 first, and then it was on Xbox.
Yeah.
But it's in general, it's thought of as like a PlayStation franchise, even though it's not really anymore.
No, it's not. Okay, it came to Switch a year later. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's on there.
Yeah.
I think that's what we saw ads.
Yeah.
For, 'cause they make a
Yeah,
new
they-
one. They just,
My
But
yeah.
it's the streaming. It's the streaming version of it, though.
Yeah. My question is because remember how long it was between 2 and 3? Are we gonna have to wait that long for in between these games?
Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Like, because I remember they were saying that they'll get to Kingdom Hearts if they don't get because of Final Fantasy or something like that. But then they managed to squeeze out Kingdom Hearts, and then the following year they squeezed out Final Fantasy somehow. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe it could come faster. So wait, I'm confused. Unreal 4 or 5?
It's 4 right now, but they said it could easily be pushed into 5.
Interesting. All right. All I know is because I had to review Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. I'm like, I'm good. I played it. It was okay, but it's like it's silly. It's speaking for myself. It's a stupid premise. It's like at least I'm like, I don't get it. This is dumb. It's like, oh, we're gonna take Square Enix getting character. Like, this is dumb. This is dumb. I'm glad people like the games. That's fantastic. I hope you guys get this game fast. But for me, it's dumb.
I think the thing about it is that you don't really care for Disney stuff.
Not really.
I think I think that's part of it. You think of it as kids stuff, and you have.
It's not really that it's kids stuff. It's just
no. You have
care.
an aversion to kid shit. It's in general.
Yeah.
Whenever we would say anything about any of those CG movies, you're like, I hate it. I don't
Yeah.
like
didn't
it.
want to see the
It's just-
Spider-Man. You said the
Yeah,
same thing.
it's like Spider-Verse. You
Yeah.
just didn't want to see it because you thought of it as a kid stuff. So I
Yeah.
think.
By the way, I did
about
see it, and yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. Because I think in general you have that aversion to that sort of stuff. So, but again, I think it's always been a fun franchise. It's always been a decent, action RPG. In fact, fucking Final Fantasy turned into Kingdom Hearts pretty much.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just depends on. I think the context is what really affects you when this stuff is. And again, you don't want you don't care about no Donald Goofy
I
shit.
do not. I'm good.
I
But
think
but I hope people
I
get it
think
fast.
I'm interested in seeing it. I mean, it's nice to hear so close to the third one that they're actually working on a fourth one, and hopefully it comes out pretty soon. I don't know exactly what other stories they can tell because they kind of ended everything in the last game, you know.
That's
But
not
who
what
knows?
people on
I'm
my Twitter were
surprised,
telling me. They're
man.
like, oh my God, there's so much. They're like, the third one left so many plot holes. This one will fix
Well, no,
them.
it didn't. It didn't leave any plot holes. It's just all it did was just, it just left the adventure open for because Sora's not coming, hasn't come back to his main universe.
Yeah.
It's if you think about it, it's multiverse bullshit that's going on in all the fucking movies right now,
Yep.
but with Final Fantasy and Disney characters.
Yo, man, Kingdom Hearts was ahead of the curve.
I mean, kind of was.
If you really
But
think
it's
about
again,
it.
it's some sort of overly complicated, loose explanation as to why these worlds are all crossing over.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on here. Mob hits. First question: will Sony and Microsoft eventually start buying individual IPs from studios? And he's saying this in a context like, what if they buy up all the major ones? Are they only going to be relegated to buying IPs? That's a little. You know what I'm going to say about that? That's a little too speculative, bruh.
No, we were hoping for that for the longest. Remember?
I don't think that's
Dead
going to happen.
Space? No, it would have happened already.
Yeah,
Would have.
correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen that happen before.
Well, then yeah, they just buy an IP.
Yeah, just an individual IP. I've never like
We did see that.
like
We've
Square
seen that.
Enix buy. Yeah, we've seen Square Enix do it to some extent, right?
The most popular one is Gears. Was bought by Epic. It was from Epic. It was
Yeah,
Epic. And
but we're
Microsoft
talking
bought
about like
was
franchises that are already
amazing.
established. That
Yeah, Gears of War was already established. And
how
then
I thought that was already bought from the jump.
No, it was Epic Games.
Yeah.
And then remember there was no Gears after 3 for the longest time. They
Yeah.
did Judgment and stuff, and then there was nothing. And so what happened? So then Microsoft went and bought the IP from Epic and then built a coalition and said, now we have a studio just developing Gears games. It's coming back. Because
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. Epic owned it.
But yeah, again, hey Brett, what's up, man?
What up?
There he is. But yeah, this question a little too speculative for me, so I don't really want to delve into it too much.
I mean, buying. Here's the thing: like, if anything, if out of buying franchises, if anything, that will happen is that like they'll just pick up the franchises. Like most of their titles are all first party things. Like, I mean, I think it's already. I don't think that if anything, speculation wise, it will if they buy anything, it'll be something that they've already had a hand in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like okay, like the given would have been like if Microsoft,
Facts.
if Microsoft picked up not Bungie, the guys who make Mass Effect,
BioWare.
BioWare. If they picked up BioWare on off the jump, right? Like
Yeah.
they already had they published Mass Effect. And let's say, for the sake of conversation, after they publish Mass Effect, they're like, you know what? We really like this space RPG stuff, so we're just gonna buy you, something like that.
But yeah,
So, I would think if anything, if they do acquire any sort of franchise, it won't be something that has already exists that has already existed outside of wasn't already associated with them. It would be something that would be internal, that they have already published, or something that was already exclusive, and then they pulled it in, kind of like what they did with Remedy, right? They were already in the room, so they just picked up whatever they had.
yeah. All right, man. We'll see. Next up here, also for Mob Hits. Okay, what game of any generation had the best marketing or hype? Did we answer this before? Not sure. But I know like the biggest one I can remember. I don't know if this is the biggest, but the biggest one I can remember for the first time was the Mortal Kombat. Remember when that was coming out consoles, Mortal Monday? That was crazy, you know, and the hype leading up to it, you know. Because especially for us, we played in the arcade for months, right? And then like knowing was coming to like consoles and stuff, seeing it in magazines, and then the commercials.
So
That was crazy.
For me, it would be Halo 3. Well, because of what they did with Times Square, and then when they did with the
That was
Best Buy,
huge, yeah.
when they shut down, I think it was Fifth Avenue, so they could have all the warthogs come down, and Master Chief was on one of them, and then he came into the store, and they had a whole line of troops with him and stuff. They went all out for
Yeah.
this Halo.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. And then even on like, I mean, it's not a game for the 360. Remember, MTV had a whole thing going on. That was pretty big.
Oh yeah, there was all these events, and it was live streamed, and it was like, oh yeah, this is a big event. So it wasn't like, oh, I saw some video online. No, they had this on TV.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah,
to show you this launch.
but Kishak, I'm glad he asked this question. Time for a little history lesson here, right? So he goes, did the first Sonic game have huge hype? Not at all, but
No.
Sonic 2
Yeah,
was
Sonic
so
2.
big. Sonic 2 was the first game in history that had a launch day. You guys understand, games back in the day, they just launched whenever. This one had an actual launch day. It was Sonic Tuesday. That was the first game that ever had a launch day. And then after that, every game started coming out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it
but
was a new release day for games.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Sonic 2, that was a big one as well back in the day.
Well, the thing about Tuesdays in general, that's also what coincides with shipments. Most stores get shipments on Tuesdays, so that's why a lot. Like if you back in the day, if you were buying CDs or if you were buying any sort of electronics and or anything, usually those things would show up on Tuesday.
But why is
That's
comics
why.
always Wednesdays then? Because
They get shipments on Tuesdays and they have to sort them and put them out on Wednesday. So usually it's the way it goes is like the shipment comes in on Tuesday for comic book stores too, but they put it on Wednesday in general just because it gives them time to sort stuff. I've known a couple of comic book stores that all gotten their stuff on Tuesday. So like for places like DC, they're not getting them on Tuesday. They're getting them probably on Monday so that they can do a Tuesday release.
Yeah, because that's how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other big game hype releases?
Oh, I mean, game. I mean, to be honest, I would have said it's not a game, but it's friggin'
I got one.
the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, that had a lot of huge marketing. Yeah.
That had a lot of marketing hype behind it. Was it $9,999?
Yeah, $9,999. Yeah, that was the day made an infamous, man. Adam, what's another one you got?
Oh man, but this I guess mainly pertains to New York. Because remember when Grand Theft Auto 4 launched, and Rockstar had their vans going around to all the midnight launches and giving out merch.
Oh no, I don't remember that. That's
They
dope.
went through all the 5 boroughs for all the GameStops, and Jamal, our boy Jamal, wound up waiting on one of them, and he got not only.
And you know
the
Jamal.
shirt,
You know
he
Jamal.
does.
Of course, I do know Jamal, man.
But when he went inside, he was like on the back end of that line, that whole list of people waiting to get it. So when he finally got his, and he saw they had one of the big display cases like that they used to do, and he's like, "What are you gonna do with that?" And he's like, "Oh, probably just gonna junk it. The game is out. We don't need it." He said, "Can I take it?" He's like, "You can carry this." He's like, "Yeah." So he took the whole display stand.
Oh, shit.
And it was from 86th Street to I think he lived at the time 111 for 113th.
Yeah, he lived in Harlem.
Yeah. And I
So he's
remember-
carrying that shit through Harlem.
He carried it because
Yep.
then he called me up. He sent me a picture on my phone. I was like, "What the hell is it?" He's like, "Yo, I got it." I was like, "You bought that?" He's like, "No, they gave it to me because they were going to throw it out because the game is already out." There was a
Hilarious.
whole big display case for it, and I was like, "What are you going to do?" He's like, "I'm going to put like my figs or something in there." Because it was like a glass casing, and the game was just in there. Remember when they used to do those big box things to display them? It was like that, just on Grand Theft Auto. So he got the big box and the whole stand. So yeah, he carried that whole shit home.
That's crazy. All right, anybody else have any like hyped games that are with big marketing that you guys remember?
Adam took Halo 3 from me, so yeah, that was mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Halo
that was
3 was huge. Huge.
It's
I can't remember if Dead Island had a really amazing advertising campaign or if it was really disappointing or both. But you remember that? Like, as
I
the
remember that.
slow-mo zombie intro thing, and everybody was so pissed because it like this has zero to do with the game. You guys just made a cool zombie mini movie thing.
Oh
Yeah.
the whole
I remember
backwards
that.
thing.
I remember.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Aren't
I
they
remember
supposed
that.
to be making that another one?
Are they?
Yeah, there's supposed to be one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dead
they're
Island
working on
2.
another one. Dead
Yeah.
Island 2, yeah, they're working on another one. It's in who knows where development now.
Years I've been hearing.
I mean, it took them forever to do, whatchamacallit, oh my God, Dying Light. You know, it's the same studio, isn't it?
It's
No.
what you call it now? Techland? No,
Yeah, Techland. Yeah, I thought they did. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Interesting. Now I have to look it up. Okay, so who did Dying Light? Okay, Dying Light was Techland, right?
Dying Light's Techland, yeah.
Okay, so who did Dead Island?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just remember always hearing that the studio was going to make another one. I don't know who they are though.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't Techland.
Guys that did Spec Ops: The Line. No.
Dam Buster Studios. It says here.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. At least for 2. All right, I never heard of them. Never mind. For some reason, I had it in my head that it was Techland. Never mind. All right, moving on here. Unless anybody else has any other hyped games or big marketing games.
I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2.
That was pretty big. Yeah, that had a lot of
That had a
marketing.
pretty big one. I mean, that's also Grand Theft Auto era too.
Yep.
That
Vice City obviously did because after the success of 3, you know.
Yeah, Vice City. Yeah, it's like always seeing that commercial. And I run.
Yeah, exactly.
And never get away.
Yeah, never get away.
Like, here's a
Grand
question.
Theft Auto Vice City.
Since we're on the topic, it's like, what's the last midnight launch that everybody here remembers going to, even those in the chat?
I remember.
Kingdom Hearts.
Manny, you and I, you were at the last one I went to. Remember we went to Grand Theft Auto 4. We were interviewing people on the line for STFU and Play.
Yep, that was your last one.
Yep, that was the last one I ever attended.
Let's see, my last one is actually Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, 3?
3.
Oh wow!
I did the midnight launch thing, and the funny thing is that like because I was traveling up from traveling down from Manhattan to to Pennsylvania. So I literally got off the bus and then went all the way over there to on the line.
Nice.
When I got home.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mighty Nurse says God of War 3. I remember. Yeah, I did go to that midnight launch.
Yes,
yeah, we did.
We went to that midnight launch. That's the same night that did another game launch on that one.
There was another one that came out. Yes, you're right. Something else came out.
It wasn't Brutal Legend, was it? That was an Uncharted.
Yeah, that was
an Uncharted one.
Yeah.
No, but the funny thing, I think there was there was another one, but that was the one I won the God of War mask on.
Yes, that was fun. Yeah.
I mean, you guys may have seen it on previous episodes of Throwdown on when we do it live, but unfortunately, as the years have gone on, that God of War mask turned into dust.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
It was. This is going to be random too. My last one was on Steinway for FIFA 14.
Oh wow.
And I remember when they said they were doing a midnight launch, and I was like, "Who's going to be at this? It's FIFA. It's a soccer game." That shit was packed. And then it started raining outside, so they told everybody to come in. And then the guy who was the manager, he's like, "All right, and the one on Steinway there was 2, but the one that was closer toward the R train was pretty big in the back." And so he moved all the shelves that they had, like in the aisle ones, over to the side, so big open space. And then he just set up like 2 little end pieces, and we played soccer indoor. He brought a soccer ball, and we played in the store until 12 o'clock. And then so that was my last one, FIFA 14.
Yeah. All right, man. Moving on here. What do we have? One subset. All right. Is the Xbox Series shortage over? I had to make sure I said that fine. I saw one person in Walmart buying a Series X and 4 Series S on the shelf. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
there was a lot of, I heard that too, and a lot of people posting images on Reddit and stuff. It's like, it's on shelves, it's on shelves. But this is something we talked about before. It wasn't so much that you had the shortage, but remember that big backup of those freights?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
were in California? They're finally unloading a lot of this
Oh
stuff.
shit. Maybe
So,
that's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah, so that's one of the guys on Reddit was talking about, because he was in Walmart and he saw the same thing on the shelf, and he asked him and he said, just shipment, nothing special. We weren't hiding anything. He said, we just got a bunch of them in. So yeah, now it's to that point that retailers are getting them in stock.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hold on. Quick shout out to Chancleta Mangu Armando. What's up, brother?
Oh,
Thanks
shit.
for hanging out. By the way, I'm gonna throw this in here right now because Syrian Air Force, I believe he's in the chat too. He asked us a question that we're not gonna answer because it's just rumor. So he was, because some YouTuber the other day made a video talking about how apparently, according to his sources, Microsoft was like paying off chip companies, and that's how they're getting more Xboxes on the shelves. That is so fucking ridiculous. Like, we're not even
Yeah,
going to
that is-
entertain
Hold on,
that.
hold on.
You know?
Wouldn't that be word for it? Business?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just ridiculous.
That's
Like,
what he's talking about.
yeah, if
There
you
was
come to us
that.
with an actual real reliable source, sure, we'll talk about that. But it's fucking YouTuber, so we're not
Well,
going to
no,
entertain
hold on.
that. You know?
I just want to say, like, even then, like, okay, so if a company pays another company more money to get supplies for their product, that's called business. There's nothing nefarious there.
Yeah, but
It's-
how
it's
are
just
not-
but how are they paying for something that's already like in low stock? How are they getting extra of it if there's not enough?
that
of
you
it to
pay
go
more.
around?
That's it's the very simple laws of supply and demand.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
people
there
demand
was-
things, you pay more for it, and you get
There
it.
was-
But if there's only 10 of the, let's just say for, I'm
Okay,
keeping it very,
here-
let me finish. We have 10 things available, right?
Yeah.
You go, hey, I'm going to pay you more so you could make an extra 5. Like, where are those extra 5 coming from?
It's
You know?
not like that. It's we have.
Or
10
is
things-
it we have 10?
available.
Hold on, let me finish. God damn it! All right, or is it we have 10 things? We'll pay you for 8 of those. Is it that?
It's we have 10 things, you get 5, those guys get 5. And they go, what if we pay you twice as much? They go, we have 10 things, you get 8, they get 2. That's business
There
stuff.
was that
Yeah.
report.
That's not a report. It's just a
Bloomberg-
fucking
no,
YouTube.
No,
yeah.
no, not that. But from where that's coming from, that there was some kind of restructuring or some negotiations between Foxconn, if that's a chip company, and Microsoft. That they had a falling
Yeah.
out a while ago, and that they resolved it, and they worked out new deals. And I think that's where these rumors are coming from. Because of that they worked out this new deal.
Yeah.
And remember, there was a new factory that they were creating.
Yeah, see,
And
that makes more sense. You build a new factory, you actually have more
remember,
materials
we
to
had-
build shit.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
that was happening in the States. And that there was some kind of new deal worked out. But I don't know if there's any truth to any of that, but that's where people are basing it off.
Yeah.
Of that,
So
that
yeah,
deal.
again, so that particular question is too silly. We're not gonna go for that. If it was a source like Bloomberg, then yeah, we talk about it. But some fucking YouTuber, so dismissing that right away. As for the Xbox Series S, I hope the shortage is over. We hope the shortages in general are fucking over because it's been ridiculous. So if they're getting more things off the ships, like Adam said, fantastic. You know.
To be
It's not
honest,
just that, we're seeing that across the board, even with appliances.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
dishwashers and fridges and stuff.
but the S wasn't really, super elusive. Let's be fucking honest here.
Yeah, that it's because it's not
No.
as highly sought after as the PS5.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
other factor, you know.
Yeah.
Or the X.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
or the
neither.
X, yeah.
Exactly. So that's the other
So,
factor people got to.
But seeing X's in the wild, that's a little bit better.
Yeah,
Like
no, it's good.
I've started to see every once in a while. I'll see PlayStation. I saw a fucking story that came up, say a few weeks ago, where somebody posted a story that after several hours there were still PlayStations available. It was on a website, obviously, but obviously it sold out pretty quick after that. But at least they're staying in stock longer, which is a good sign.
Yeah, that's good. You know, I wonder how much of these things are in those ships. You know, just sitting there for fucking months or years.
They don't want to tell you
You
the
know?
ship. They don't want them getting robbed.
Tony, I would say more. I wonder how many of there is enough components out there in shipping to probably build a shitload of PlayStations.
Yeah.
They're just all not put together and in various states of shipping. Yeah, there's a shipping container somewhere full of fucking chips that they need, and that's the only thing they need to finish all these PlayStations.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't discount that. You know, so hopefully, things will clear up.
Oh, watch me something stupid like the power button. Like,
Yeah.
well, we're just waiting on shipping of power buttons, and these bitches are ready to go.
It's hilarious. All right, man. Next question, also from one subset. Does the new Game Pass family plan strike a blow against PlayStation's new PlayStation Plus?
Oh, are they competing?
Yeah, they are apparently. No, because Game Pass has a family plan now where like I guess you could sign a bunch of people onto one account or whatever.
Yeah,
You know.
You can have like I think it's 4 or 5 members, or family members, or something like that. Because right now you can share up to 5 accounts with your friends. So let's say if I wanted to share with you, I
Yeah.
give you my login, and then you click, and you can select it as one of your home boxes. You're allowed up to 5 home boxes, but they don't have to be in your house.
Adam,
So you what?
are you saying that you're gonna do a Happy Place Part 2?
No. But this has always been a thing. And so when I created another account for my son, it's under his name, but he has access to my Game Pass and all that stuff, and he can download. And you can do this with your brothers and friends, but only up to 5. So
I mean-
it's already out there to do under one price, as opposed to with this family plan. I guess if you really need to have multiple people.
Yeah, it
So-
ain't gonna be family plan though. Like here's the way I see that going down. Group of friends all share one account, like we all do. Like let's be honest, we all have one friend who has our Netflix or our Hulu or something like that,
Yeah.
and you got everybody's fucking Amazon or HBO. Like there's 8 people feeding off that shit. You just bring one to the table, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Here's what's gonna happen when you have Game Pass available like that. You're gonna have groups of friends sharing it, and then all of a sudden we're like, dude, I'm playing a game. You should play. It's gonna really encourage multiplayer, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. No, it hasn't
what's the
been
price? I didn't
confirmed
see the
yet, but it's a
pricing.
report. No, there's no pricing yet because
there we go.
it's not official yet. It's just a report from Windows Central, but at least has a reputable source. It's not a fucking
Yeah, yeah.
YouTuber.
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
Wait,
apparently, Brett, they've apparently been talking about this for a while. It's just now they're going to finally implement it.
What?
Family
We'll
plan.
see.
Oh, okay. I thought you were pausing for
family-
dramatic effect.
No, I paused so you could react to that.
Okay, no. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's amazing, man. It's honestly, I wouldn't say Xbox and PlayStation are really competing on the online service front. Mostly because of day and date games. We've had this discussion before. It really fucking matters, even if it's just perception. So they don't have the day and date games, and now you're gonna have, like I said, whole groups of friends. This is going to help absorb people into the fold, right? Because if I have Game Pass and you don't have Game Pass, I'm just going to give you my Game Pass login. Now, that may not be great for Microsoft because then
Yeah, I
it
was going to
doesn't
say.
necessarily mean you're going to buy Game Pass. It just means you're going to play Game Pass. But we'll see how the numbers go. But in terms of like for the customer, oh man, that's a great fucking deal. It's pretty fucking huge.
I mean, the
Essentially,
Plus-
they just cut the cost of your Game Pass by 5.
See, so the question is, if this gets announced, which I'm assuming if it's a family plan, is that whichever accounts are linked to it. Let's say if you and Brad, myself, whatever, we're all in this, then that means that we can all sign in and play at the same time, and be able to play the same games because it's a family plan. We're all in it. As
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah, the day it releases.
yeah.
I wonder. I mean, Netflix doesn't do this anyway, but I wonder if there's going to be any kind of vetting. It's like, hold on, family, that motherfucker's in New York, that motherfucker's in Kansas, that motherfucker's in England. You know what I'm
nobody
saying?
cares.
Yeah,
Nobody
they don't
cares.
care. Okay, so it'll just be like that.
It's
Then.
it's quote unquote family. I mean,
Yeah, it's
and
family.
you gotta understand,
Family.
they run a real risk if they're like, no, it's only blood relative nuclear families. It's not the people who took you in when you know after your family died in that plane accident kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
so they have to put families in quotes. Whatever you consider family, you can put on this plan.
Because
All right,
with
so
those
we
streaming
got the Vin
services-
Diesel version of family then.
Exactly.
Because remember with the streaming service, what they're trying to do now, they're still saying they don't want you sharing outside of the country. They want
Yeah, it's
you-
only within the. Sorry,
yeah,
Brian.
It's only within the country. That's what they're really
It's
trying
fine.
to prevent.
I have a happy place.
Yeah, there you
There we
go.
Is it called Steam?
Is it the Dapper Place? Is that what you guys call it over there, or what you call it, the Dapper Place?
No, we just call it the happy place.
Yo, by the way, in between subjects,
Uh-oh.
this is non-gaming related. I just need to mention something.
Uh-oh.
The other day, I had shredded duck fried rice. Oh my god.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the tweet. All right, man. Moving on here. Where are we right now? A lot of questions. Oh, here we go. Syrian Air Force. All right, first question. Is PS5's storage upgrade solution better than Xbox Series X's solution? Sony gives consumers more choices of expandable storage, whereas Xbox only has Seagate making its expandable storage. Interesting question. But the thing is, like, you got to balance it, right? It's like, yeah, Sony gives you more options, but Xbox is literally plug it into the back and you're done.
Yeah, you just
know?
put it in the back.
Yeah.
I put mine in the back, and that was it.
And you're
I
done.
Just wish there was,
Whoa.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, to talk with a woman, you know?
So yeah, I think it's each has one a pro and a con. So like
Yeah.
the pro for the Xbox is the ease, where you just boop, it's in there. The PlayStation it's whatever ones as many ones that you get out there you support. Here's the thing: they both cost around the same amount of money. Though.
Yeah, they do.
And the only downside is actually on the PlayStation if you get the wrong one without the heat.
That's the other thing I want to mention. It's like,
the thing.
yeah, like PlayStation, you have more options, but those options are limited. You can't just buy any old SSD. You got to be careful.
Yeah,
You got to get the approved one, and you got to get the
Yeah.
So
So no, Xbox has the better solution. Literally, just stick it in, you're done. That's it. That's what she said.
Yeah, and I think to be honest, that is more consumer friendly than opening up a console. Like, because here's the thing, like as gamers,
but it's easy, man. It's easy.
Yeah, but if it's for a kid and it's an older parent,
no,
or something,
yeah,
then
exactly.
they're like, what? I'm not doing it. I'm gonna break it. No,
Here's the
you're
thing,
not gonna break it. You're allowed to do this.
No, most people are going to be afraid to open it. Obviously the enthusiasts like us and stuff like gamers are going to go and that's the first thing that people did when they with the PlayStation 4 when they allowed that ability to do that. They just went boop boop and popped it in. But Microsoft in general with the original Xbox with the 360, it was always an easier thing. You didn't need to open anything. All you needed to do was just buy another one of their hard drives and pop it on. And this seems like the same sort of idea, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But
history has shown that, pretty conclusively that just plugging something into your system always wins over having to open up the case.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Xbox has the win here for easily, I know some of the guys in the chat disagree with us on that one, but no, Xbox is easier.
For me as a person, like who doesn't like, I fully have the ability to do it. I would much rather buy a console with one already installed inside of it than having to open one up and do it because I never
anxiety inducing.
Yeah,
even if you do it right, even if you have all the tools, even if you have everything, you're just like, fuck, am I gonna void my warranty?
Yeah, I don't wanna mess with anything inside of there and have any sort of excuses why I just somehow I touched something in the wrong way. Even though, and again, I've built computers on my own and all that stuff, but I feel like I should, to be an old man, I shouldn't need to open up my VCR so that it plays other tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should just do it. It should have enough space. It should have all this stuff. And I'd much rather just, go caution to the one and buy the more expensive one that has more memory than fooling around with, even though it's just pulling off the front of it and unscrewing one screw and putting the thing in there. I wouldn't want to mess with that.
Yeah, with me, I don't mind doing that. I've done that with all the other PlayStations, and obviously the only thing that's keeping me from doing it is I don't want to pay that price, But even though I personally, have no problem opening up my console, I have to look at it objectively. What's easier? The Xbox has it. It's just plug it in, you're done.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. People would go, oh no, but it's easy on PlayStation. Yeah, maybe for you it is. It would be for me, but Xbox is easier.
If you have to include instructions, it's not.
Hold on, I got
plug and play. It's not.
I got
plug
this.
and play.
It's easy. It's super inconvenient, is what it is.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go super inconvenient. It's again because I've already.
It's not super inconvenient to have to find a fucking screwdriver.
You don't need to, dude. You pop it off. That's it. You don't need to unscrew anything.
But then
you
have to screw in the drive.
That you do need to do. But the point is, like, it's not that hard. But Xbox is obviously easier.
I'm not saying it's hard. Hold on. I'm not saying it's hard. I can't do it. It's something I couldn't do after a long day. Like man, I've built computers before.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's just wildly inconvenient. To have
It's
to
easy to
unhook
mess
it.
it up. You can try to put it in the wrong way. Someone can, like we said, can get the one that doesn't have a heat sink, close it up.
Yeah, see, that's the bigger issue, buying the wrong one. You know, that's the real problem there. But
Why should this be? We're talking about consoles, not PCs, right? This is the whole thing with consoles. This is fucking easy. You don't have to open it up. You just plug it into it and press a button.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this since the
deal.
PS3 era, so it's not unheard of.
Again,
you know?
it's the option is open, and yes, the enthusiasts have done it with the PS3. But at the same time, again, Johnny Two Toes.
Oh yeah, Johnny.
Guy,
Joe Blow. That's what we call him. Joe Blow. Joe Blow.
Yeah, Joe Blow ain't gonna do that.
Oh yeah, and what would Joe Blow? Would be a best solution from Xbox. Plug it in. You're done.
You plug it in, like even like as much as the again, it's nice to have that option as an enthusiast and a player, because you can kind of you sort of can kind of adjust your make your experience a little bit better, have a little more space. But I think for regular people, most people are not going to be opening up their consoles.
Yeah.
You also guys, you got to realize most gamers are a unique situation. Because they're most, people that considered gamers are usually enthusiasts and usually a little bit ahead of the curve than the regular person that's just going to go there and says into the GameStop, the video game store, and say, I want a PlayStation 5.
Those people don't even know what expandable storage is. Let's just
they don't know. They'll be like. They'll be like, does
it play Fortnite? That's all they're gonna ask.
Does it play Fortnite? Does it play Fortnite? And they're like, oh, and then the guy will try to sell them up on there, and they'll sell them up on some additional storage. You can get yourself additional storage, but you got to open up the console. Then they're already selling them on an Xbox.
That's what I'm wondering. Does GameStop sell any form of the expandable storage for the PlayStation?
As far as I know, they don't.
I don't know.
I know they sell pop vinyls.
Yeah.
But then right there, it's probably
they have a whole wall of pop vinyls.
They probably don't want to deal with the headache of people saying they messed something up. Or
That's that. They probably don't want to deal with the liability of telling people they have to open their system.
Well, and can we stop pretending like people shop at GameStop anymore?
This is true.
By the way, I'm looking at GameStop.
GameStop is still doing it.
Yeah, by the way, I'm on GameStop side right now. Yeah, they actually do sell PlayStation expandable storage.
Is it for in store?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but no, Carlos is right. Like,
yeah.
does GameStop even exist as a storage anymore?
Oh yeah,
Carlos,
yes,
you won't believe this. I just saw a video of a guy. Obviously, he was an angry guy who was returning his physical copy of Elden Ring to GameStop. I was fucking shocked.
Wow.
I mean, there's always a unicorn. But
he took place in their 48-hour rule. That's all. Go ahead.
Going back to the discussion, I feel like it's a little bit overblown. Obviously, Microsoft's strategy is probably the better one. Not probably. It is the better one in my opinion. But the thing with consoles, let's not act like consoles haven't been complicated for many years. I mean, the fucking the 32X with the Sega CD, all the components that have to be included in.
Dude, I hooked that shit up when I was 9. It wasn't complicated. By definition, if you can do it when you're 9, it's not complicated.
I have a nephew that's 9. I'm guarantee you he can put in the SSD into the PS5. If people want to do it, they'll find a way, and YouTube is the easiest way to just figure out how to do something. Obviously, the convenience is not there, so that's why the Xbox method is by far the best one. But it's not rocket science. It's not something to get.
No, I think it's just taking the chance and then just bringing that alarm to parents that, let's say, if they just bought it for their kid to show them up, and it's like, all right, I need this expansion. All right, so what do we got to do? Well, you got to take this piece off. You got a screwdriver, Dad? Listen, we got to get this other piece, screw this in. It's like, wait a minute. And if the parent's not up on the whole process, they may think this is just voiding it out. I don't think we should be touching this. They would have made it easier if they wanted people to do it.
I don't want to disconnect my PlayStation and bring it to a table, man.
Yeah, but again, Joe Blow is not going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
It's really the enthusiast guy's going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like giving the people the ability to to change their it's like the Scion car, right? Like the Scion car, it sells a bunch of accessories and stuff like that. They're really easy to do, but if you want to really do it, but most people don't.
Yeah.
You got cloud storage, so I mean, all of this is a non-necessity to begin with. So like, I don't find it horribly wrong because like, it's almost tiers of inconvenience, right? Like the more storage you want, the more hoops you have to go through, and that's fine. If you want more storage on your console, you have to upload to the cloud, download from the cloud, and manage your save. If you want more save space or more storage than that, you got to open your console up. You got to put this thing in. I mean, it makes sense, and it's a thing that's easily avoidable. And yes, anybody can do it. It's not difficult. It's just, like I said, man, like it's not just open it up, put this thing in, done for most people. You have to find where you put the fucking screwdriver, and then you have to crawl behind the entertainment center and disconnect a bunch of cords to fucking get the PlayStation out, and haul it off to the dining room table, and then lay everything out and make sure that you don't lose anything, and still manage to lose a fucking screw somewhere. And then when you get the thing in, you have to go back and put it back and behind the entertainment system where it lives, where you can't see where any of the fucking cords go. You spend 15 minutes back there wrestling with the shit. It's not impossible. It's just 9 kinds of pain in the ass.
Something I put together not too long ago, and my wife, I said, "Oh, look, it's put together," and she found a little packet and had like extra screws. I was like, "Oh, those are extras." She's like, "They never give extras. You forgot something." I'm like, "No, they gave extras," and I had to show the manual. Actually said, "Yeah, we included 2 extra screws just in case."
That's funny.
I think the best way to look at it is one takes 3 seconds, one takes 3 minutes.
Yep, pretty much.
Then everything else apart from that is pretty negligible, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why this is even a debate, Brian. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you pop it in, that's it, you're done.
You could theoretically have both consoles be there at the same time, and then start the install process. And by the time the PS5 guy has finished his one, the Xbox guy has updated his, transferred the game, and booted up the game. So it's like, yeah, it's no competition.
But Brian, when you're traveling with your Series X and you're carrying it around, putting it on your trunk, you have to take away that SSD off, man, because you don't want to bend it. It's gonna hit. On the PlayStation 5, it just stays inside. You don't have to fucking take it off and be like, waste those 3 seconds and be like, yo, man, my SSD is safe and sound. I can carry this. This is travel ready, and I gotta give some kudos to this.
It's just a giant USB.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I also want to find out. If anybody in the chat actually did the PlayStation one, because do you have to format it, or does it come pre-formatted? Because that was one thing I noticed with the Xbox One.
You will have to format it.
It does. It automatically was formatted. I thought I was gonna have to format, do something, and it was like, no, it's good to go. Just right off the bat, it says it as default, and you can start installing stuff. I was like, oh, so I didn't have to format. I mean, it only takes like 2 seconds.
Does it ask you right away, like as soon as?
Yeah. I was watching the Digital Foundry, and you'll have to format it.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I'm guessing because it's non-proprietary.
Oh yeah, it could be.
You could use it on like a PC beforehand and then stuck it in. So I think to be safe, Sony just says, "No, we're wiping this."
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, man. Let's move on. Next question here, also from Assyrian Air Force. What do you guys? And let me finish it. I know as soon as I say the name of this, somebody's going to say something.
Who that?
What do you make of the Kraken system on PS5 that makes game sizes much smaller than Xbox Series X games? By the way, I looked up. This is actually a real thing.
It is.
It's a real thing. I was like, Kraken? What are you talking about? Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, it's the thing that Cerny was talking about, where essentially
the Kraken system.
Yeah, it's essentially like multiples of certain things that don't need to be put in there, stuff like that.
Isn't it the decompression system that?
Yeah.
Well, that's their name for it.
Call of Duty is apparently. Call of Duty. It still doesn't do much though. It's like what was it, a gig? I think it was like 4 or 5 gigs small. I was like, yeah, but that's nothing when you look into some of these games that are like almost 100.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, I think that maybe some studios may not be effectively using it. You know what I mean? Because one of the there's the compression stuff, but there's also the thing where they don't have to post multiple assets inside of the game in order for it to to access it. So it's kind of a combination of both.
What was it? It came out. Was it this week or last week? It was that Call of Duty dev that was talking about the game itself, and he's like, the one drawback that Call of Duty the franchise has is the file size, that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and that every time they have to make some changes, the whole thing has to be reinstalled. And so many times people just say, "Fucking, I'm not doing it." I'm not doing, whether it's a bandwidth issue where they live or just the storage of like, wow, now there's an update. Now I have to uninstall another game just to keep playing this game. And that's the battle that they have. Because, on one hand, you want all these features, right? You want all these maps. That's what you want from these games. You want 4K. Well, all that takes up space. So then what do? So then their method was coming up with different components that install. You have the campaign, you have the multiplayer, you have Warzone. They could all be installed separate or whatever. But even that's all messy right now. It's not as streamlined as it should be. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of games do that, where in other words, they're just literally uninstalling a version of your game, and they're just the patched version. They're reinstalling a patched version as opposed to going a patch on top.
Oh, half the time they don't uninstall it first. They're just like, we need 95 gigs of free space to update Fallout.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how, I guess the developers are the ones that would tell us about this, but yeah, not sure how if anyone's taking advantage of this the system, the Kraken system, or if it's useful at the moment. But yeah,
I mean, it defeats the purpose of the whole thing of compression with anything, because compression usually means that you're gonna degrade the file and do something to it. But 4K itself, they're large images, and everything is very large.
Also, don't take Hassan's info on this, because he's, who knows what he's up to.
He's a PlayStation fanboy. Is that what?
Well, he's a PlayStation fanboy. He's like, oh, only on the PlayStation 5 can you run my game. I'm like, yeah, bro.
Yeah. Now, what?
No. You're using off the a general market a game engine like Unreal.
Yeah, the guy's so full of shit, man.
Yeah. Either that, or he really likes drinking that Kool-Aid.
Maybe he's trying to make sure the partnership stays intact.
Yeah.
Look,
Sir, Shuhei Yoshida is like, yo, you better say that the PlayStation's the best.
Hey, that's it.
Oh man,
your fantasy game.
we got our PS Ninjas that'll whip your ass.
They come for you.
All right, man. Moving on here. Black Mage. All right. Actually, his first question, we already kind of answered it, but we didn't answer it because it was too speculative. He just asked if Halo Infinite fails, will Microsoft give this studio the game to another studio? We don't know. We're not going to talk about that. That's too crazy.
I mean, game to another studio.
I think they should. Right, but but we're not going to get onto all that. I'm pretty sure we talked about that before. All right, so the next question here is, just as DLC, loot boxes, and battle royale have become mainstays in today's gaming, will future titles lean heavily into the quote-unquote memeability aspect that the Elden Ring community has come to love? Can it be artificially recreated without such moments feeling forced or canned? No, that stuff happens naturally. You can't.
Oh, that stuff happens.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
Nobody could have predicted Fortnite would have blown up the way it did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can build an environment for it. Like, I will say, the Soul series is built around the idea of being memetic. Like, it's half the idea when developing it is, they know that you're going to go to YouTube. They know that you're going to show videos of this, hitbox porn. They know that you're going to, make little memes about it. So, like, they leave it open enough that you have that room to be creative. And they let you own your experience enough to want to share it. Now, beyond that, like, you can do that. You can build it, they will come kind of thing. You can build a good environment for somebody to be able to express themselves through a game, but it's not always going to work, and you can't force it.
Yeah,
you can't force that stuff.
I think in general, just having that ability to have a camera and record your stuff, that actually helps that helps with that sort of thing. And I think they also, in general, because of the language of the game, they leave those sorts of bits of jank in them because of it. Like the ragdoll physics in all Souls games is absurdly stupid, but it also gives you a little bit of an amusement when you see the freaking characters all twisted and twirled all over things.
Is it like
You know?
Minority Report?
It's pretty stupid. You'll walk through a character and you'll see them like their body all like all twisted all over the place, really silly.
Oh man, it used to be even better. Like you used to really be able to like just kick him downstairs and shit like that.
Yeah.
There used to be whole memes about that, but I think some people started complaining when there was like a wall of enemies and they were just pushing them through like bulldozing a street.
Yeah. But
It's still pretty janky from what I can see.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm agreeing with you. It used to be way worse. They had to kind of fix it, but they intentionally left that little bit of jank, just like Manny said, because they know we loved it. They're like, okay, we're gonna make this more reasonable. We're still gonna do a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Move on here. Uh-oh, this might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
No.
Why, when, how did the gaming community become the biggest place for gatekeeping, even surpassing comics, anime, and movies and sports? Why do the people get worked up over how others play the game, especially if they use mechanics that developers have placed in the game?
Well,
yeah.
you know that is, you know what that is? That's the competitive nature of people in general.
And it's the internet that's just putting it forefront, because now you can actually hear all these people bitch about it together.
Yeah, and then the other thing is it's competitive nature of people, and it's also the game industry itself. Back in the day, used to be, oh, you call yourself a gamer? You think you're an ultimate game? Like, in other words, trying to.
Push you to get their game. Only hardcore gamers play this.
Only hardcore gamers play this.
Which is where the teens are. Remember with the Sega and the blood? It's like, this is the Nintendo's for babies.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a thing specific to the Souls community that is, I'm pretty sure it's people who have played the game a long time. It's very near and dear to them. Not necessarily, they have mixed feelings about it being super large and accessible.
Shout out to
and they have, hold on. They have the member berries syndrome, right? Like, they're like, oh man, like all these people are coming in. I'm afraid they're gonna make my game easier. Blah 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 blah. Even though like Elden Ring is one of the most accessible, and I'm gonna say this here and now, on par with the most difficult of Souls games. It's not easy. You could just walk away or overlevel or do any number of other things to trivialize the fight the same way you've always been, right?
Yeah.
But people, I think it's a mixture of some people are just afraid that their series is being taken over, and I understand. I get it. As a Souls fan, you're like, Jesus Christ, if the next one is just all kinds of fucked up because they know they're going to sell 15 million copies, and how are they going to not fall to that pressure? But I trust his team that they're not going to do that. They have not folded yet. I don't think that they're going to. But I understand in principle where they're coming from, and I think the other half of it is, like I said before, a bunch of people are saying, I did this, look at me, but we haven't really figured out or don't know a socially healthy way to do that as a gamer community, except speedrunners. Speedrunners have figured it out, but everybody else, they're like, they can't say, oh, I did this. They have to say, oh, you didn't really beat the game unless you did this because I did this. Like, well, you don't need that whole first part, dude. We get it. You think you're better than me because you beat the game with one hand taped behind your back, and honestly, that's fine. You probably displayed more skill beating the game with one hand tied behind your back. If I want to play you, cool. I will fight for it. I will try to emulate that, but that's my choice, right?
Yeah. By the way, Brett, remember how we were jokingly saying it's like, oh yeah, you beat the game with your feet. We're just doing that as a joke. Somebody actually legit did that with a DDR pad the other day.
Yeah, no, that's people. They're like paraplegic people beating this game with a fucking straw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this person was a paraplegic, but yeah, they did it with a DDR pad. It's fucking incredible,
Yeah. I mean, people do amazing stuff in this. I don't know that it's ever going to go away. Is kind of the problem. And I don't think it needs, because we're looking at a weird situation where, and I'm just calling a spade, the person who beats the game at a higher difficulty is displaying a higher level of skill. Period.
If it's on the hard, of course.
I think people just need to express that. I also think this whole fucking like, oh, everybody's gatekeeping me kind of thing are people who cannot stand when other people say, I did it like this. I did it like this. I beat the game like this. It makes them feel small, and they don't like that because it hurts their feels. So like we need to learn to, as a community, express pride in the things that we've done and not tear down other people's accomplishment because it makes us feel small, right? Like if somebody does something big and great, it's going to make you feel a little bit smaller. That's kind of the fucking nature of the thing. If you want to feel big and great, you go do that thing. Like,
you know, the one thing about a lot of this, and this is maybe me just being because sort of the loner gamer, I don't give a shit about anybody, what anybody is fucking doing.
I don't.
Same here. I don't care. I legit don't care.
I swear, man, I don't care. Like, who gives a shit how, you know, if you know, how the way I play this game. Now, the thing about it is, like, if you're doing this on a public forum and you're not representing the you know, like if you're putting a bunch of cheats on your game, I would call that into question because you're doing that in a public forum. You're not representing the game as it should be as it is represented. Is that gatekeeping? I don't know. But I think like if you're gonna be like a streamer and you're just gonna throw a bunch of cheats on your game, that can be called into question. But if you're just playing it as you play it and you found some sort of funky exploit, then what the fuck? Whatever.
Yeah.
Any tools.
But I feel like everybody seems so interested in what everybody else in their world is thinking about them. Fuck them.
And that's where I'm trying to cover. Like I don't give a shit what other people say. Same as you guys, but I'm trying to put myself in the position of somebody who does, and I'm like, so who really cares? Like if I'm like, hey, I beat Elden Ring with this summons. And then somebody comes back with, well, you didn't really do that. That has to be a fucking Twitter thing, right? Like, that just has to be a Twitter thing.
That is a Twitter thing. It's them putting, it's like, in other words, somebody who seems to be proud about what they did, and then somebody essentially poo-pooing on their parade. So then don't fucking post that shit online. You don't need to post it, because you know what? You're doing it your way. You did it your way. And you don't even need to listen to about whatever this other guy's going to say. That's the way it's always. That's the way nerddom has always been initially, but now all of a sudden people want to get into talking about things.
Exactly, and this has always been a thing in nerddom, and we've always successfully dealt with it the same way. You just kind of let it wash over you, right? Like somebody like I beat Margit with my jellyfish summon. Someone's like, real gamers don't beat it with a jellyfish, and you go, I don't care what that guy thinks, and move on with your day. Then like no harm, no foul. Like we used to get the shit kicked out of us. All right, like you can deal with a little bit of toxic gatekeeping on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, because it's not real. This is mother.
It is the best solution for anybody. Get off Twitter and then just have that conversation in a subreddit that's dedicated to that game.
Yeah, or talk to your crew about it, because to be honest, at least when the goofy the criticism comes out where where the other guy's like, yo man, you could just strike right back at him, right?
Yeah,
because
and then there'll be others that are in there all doing the same thing. So everybody's talking back and forth and exchanging.
You don't need to.
And then you'll all get smacked in the face because a PC gamer will say, "Well, I'm playing the real experience." Because and that's it. And that's they always get that high card because of that. Like, well, did you see?
So I don't know. It's
but how many cheats and mods did you put on it, motherfucker? You know.
I mean, here's the thing. Like back in the day, like when you were just on your own, people put on the game genie codes and all that other silliness.
That's fine, but if you're like you say, if you're streaming the game,
if you're streaming it and you're supposedly a streamer that's supposed to be representing the game, and like to be honest, all that is an advertisement for a cheating device. That's not even a real. It's not even a playthrough of a game, to be honest.
Yeah,
which is a shame, because I as somebody who doesn't watch this shit, I would imagine watching people lose is way more entertaining than watching people win.
Oh yeah, no,
it is.
You see, it's essentially seeing them go
through the process. You rarely see that too, especially if you watch like live ones. They'll just cut it.
I mean, and then to be honest, like the ones that seeing people do it is those crazy ass speedrunners. Now, like seeing them do some of that stuff, That's pretty amazing.
Did you ever see the guy play Mike Tyson's Punch Out blindfolded? And his back turned to the TV and he played it through. And
see, that's a real gamer.
Because it's sound cues. Yeah,
it's all sound cues.
I saw a guy beat Elden Ring in 11 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that video popping around.
One big streamer. He's like, beat the game in 1 minute. This is not fighting all the bosses.
Did he like glitch his way into an area at any point, or was that just straight?
No, it was with glitches. Like, in other words, like, exploits, like,
okay, that's what I figured.
Running up an area that you wouldn't think there, or like there's this other part where you jump around one of the doors and you cut out and then you come back in again.
Okay, that's cool.
That stuff. But then he also did the normal run where he essentially beat every single boss and got all the at least all the main bosses and got their.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
From different parts, how did he pull that off? I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it takes time to travel to different areas.
Huh?
I just have to apologize for the horrible toxic gatekeeping I just did when I asked if he did it without glitches.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair to me, and probably made somebody who does use glitches feel small, and I apologize to you for that.
Well, the thing is, like, again, like, some people care about one thing. It's sometimes it's about what your priority are as a gamer. If your goal is just to win no matter what, there's those gamers that just beating it no matter what is considered a win, no matter how they do it. Or there's other people that actually go through the process of doing it. I would say, though, the person that would goes through the process of doing it would have a lot more skill at doing the game rather than other. But then again, the guy who uses the skip is also a really good player on his own. He knows how to play the game, so it's weird.
By the way, since we're talking about Elden Ring, I wish Chris was here for this. Brett, you'll like this story. So Chris is helping me out. Was helping me out with something last night, and we got invaded. Right? Invader shows up. He waves. I'm like, oh, Chris, hold on, back off. I got this. Because this guy showed respect. We had our meat match. No potions or nothing. He ended up winning, and then he bows. I'm like, okay, good. Because if he just came rushing in, it's like, all right, Chris, let's fuck this guy up. So, but it's very rare when, like, in the Souls community, and Brett was the one that told me, it's like, if a guy shows up and he acknowledges you, he wants a fair fight. So I gave him a fair fight, and it was good. I was like, Chris was like, yo, Tony, you need help? I'm like, no. Hang back, just watch.
Yep, you get those guys every once in a while. We like single-handed fight clubbing. Also, when the fuck were you playing last night?
We played for like an hour. Like, my Tony time. It was like, as you know, it was for a while. It was like from 7 my time to like 9-ish my time. So there was that time that I played. No, not last night. The night before that, I was at a wedding.
Okay, I was about to say, shit. I was online the whole time.
It was the other night. Last night I was at a fucking wedding in Brooklyn. Yeah, it was the other night. Chris helped me out with try to help me out, but he couldn't go into the Evergall. I hate that shit. You have to do that shit on your own. But I managed to do it today. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. What are we up to right now? Ronan, he's back. It's been a while, man.
All right, Mr. Ronan.
With Kingdom Hearts 4 now officially announced, which Square Enix franchise would you rather that they spend time, money, resources on? Personally, I'm trying to understand why they don't capitalize on the renewed interest in Chrono, but Tactics would be nice, or actually give some love to the old Enix stepchildren titles. So I guess
you mean like the bouncer?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that ain't good. That ain't gonna get no love, man.
I'd like to see that one, Manny. Actually, like of all the games, I think that might be one of the ones.
I would like to see them come back with the bouncer with the controls of the recent Final Fantasy game. Literally improve that game. Like take a shit game, and really push it. But we'll never see that. It's all about the popular kids. Bouncer's is that one kid in the corner that nobody looks at, but he was there in the beginning.
I mean, like Way of the Warrior and Naughty Dog. It's like no one talks about Way of the Warrior.
I mean, here's the thing: like Naughty Dog is not even in the position to even be making any fighting games. I wouldn't want to see them make a Way of the Warrior.
You know what? It would be a Rockstar game. It would be what you call it, Manhunt. Bring that back, man. That was fun.
For me, I would say, like I do agree with you on a lot of the a lot of the the jumping on the Chrono Trigger / Chrono stuff because they just did put out Chrono Trigger and Mana and
So
taking
Chrono
those
Cross just came out.
Chrono Cross just the remake well the remaster came out. I mean, it would be nice to see that, but you also got to realize that Chrono Cross was also a huge failure when it
Yeah.
originally came out. That's why they didn't give that game the treatment that the Trials of Mana and Secret got because that was a really good game that did well. Chrono Cross has a lot of nostalgia behind it. A lot of people played it, but enough people didn't play it because the Chrono series ended with that game.
So,
Me-
controversial question.
Oh,
I'm assuming, well, just because of Square and the way that they've done things recently, I'm assuming we're talking about taking any of these games and putting them on the Final Fantasy 15 engine.
you could do that if you want.
That kind of seems to be the only thing they're really doing lately.
Well, here's the thing. Final Fantasy 15 engine is Unreal 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, no, I was saying they ever since they revamped the Final Fantasy engine, they just seem to be re-releasing games under that engine. Like,
You mean
so
Unreal 4?
This sounds
it's
like
Unreal. Yeah.
Well, their version of Unreal 4.
No, it is Unreal 4. It is Unreal 4.
It's just straight Unreal 4?
Yeah, you're thinking about the Luminous engine. That's what they're doing for Spoken on.
Yeah. But the reason
No,
why
no.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking.
No,
Yeah, no.
15 was.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Was Luminous.
I'm thinking about. I'm sorry, but I'm thinking about Final Fantasy 7. That was on Unreal. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah. After 15, the only other game that uses it is Forspoken. That's it. Everything else has been Unreal 4 afterwards.
So,
Oh,
so
this
this,
is-
A fun fact about Final Fantasy 15: it was the first game with DLLSS.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow, well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, sorry, Brett. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 15 and Forspoken are the only Luminous engine games at the moment.
Yeah, the one thing about that Luminous engine is it's pretty difficult to develop for, and that's possibly why, because they were supposed to use that for Final Fantasy 7, but I think it
Okay,
just
well,
wasn't working.
regardless of that, okay, so like Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 15, they play very, very similar, right?
Yeah.
All of Square's games that have come out
Yeah,
have
it's
been that kind of play style.
It's
so
the
what I'm
action-
asking
it's
is,
the
And
action
you
RPG.
could throw Kingdom Hearts 3 in there too. They
Yeah, Kingdom
kinda has
Hearts
the same.
3 also
yeah.
plays very similar to that. Because to be honest,
Yeah.
if you think about it, like all of those games are pretty much like Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts games, just action RPG
Yeah.
stuff. There's no more turn-based stuff anymore.
well, no, and they almost seem like they're just reskins of each other.
I
So
mean,
like,
yeah.
my
Yeah.
question is, and I mean this in a very genuine way, even though it sounds like one of the dick comments I would make. Are we saying like we're giving any of these games the current Square treatment, which is kind of just reskinning it as
Action-
reskinning a
action
Final
RPGs.
Fantasy with something else? Or are we talking about a remake or a remaster? Well, it's actually just remake of the old game.
Whatever you want, man. Have
Because
it-
I like this. There's things that I'd like to see, but like, man, I don't want them to do them the way that they're doing them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in other words, it's like we get because the rumors say that Final Fantasy 9 is also getting a remake. Is it just going to be?
That's
same
part of the
as-
NVIDIA leak too, isn't it, Brian?
That's part of the NVIDIA leak too.
Yeah.
So does that mean that game is just going to be essentially Final Fantasy 7? Just the same sort of gameplay, action RPG stuff. It probably is. Because that to be honest, it's just like the PlayStation formula. It's like people. I think a lot of even though Persona did very well with the turn based, I feel like for the regular audiences, it's action RPGs that seem to be acceptable.
You know what's interesting? Dragon Quest 11, like the most traditional of traditional turn-based, quietly sold like 15 million copies. So it's kind of interesting how like that game has sold Final Fantasy numbers, but hasn't gotten the same amount of hype. And it's a traditional as fuck game. So there is still a lot of audience, but you're right. Like if you want to show something off flashy, you go with the turn-based. Oh, you go with the action stuff.
Yeah, you go with the action RPG thing. So yeah.
Even though I'm already hearing rumors that Dragon Quest 12 may change things up, I'm very worried about that.
Oh,
Like
what they're gonna go back to turn based?
no, apparently they said they want to modernize it. So
they want to get
Isn't
rid
it
of all
already
turn-based
modernized?
stuff.
yeah. So that's what I'm fearing that.
Yes,
they're gonna,
Manny, it has been already modernized.
Yeah, it's already
going
been
to-
modernized.
They're going to modernize the modernized version.
Yeah.
Postmodern.
I mean, is it? I mean, how
I
much
heard
modern-
action. That's what I heard. In my head I translated it to action RPG, and I'm afraid.
Yeah,
of
they're
that.
going to turn it into an Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
It's like
Or a Square Enix game.
Yeah, dude, Square Enix, their formula is not much better. We don't talk about how tired that shit is, but they're not far behind, man.
We're looking at Crackdown 3 for inspiration.
Oh shit.
I just look at. I mean, I looked at it. It's like like Kingdom Hearts was the one game that used to be the action RPG game, and then you had your regular Final Fantasy games, which were still turn based. Now all the Square Enix games are pretty much like that. With
They're all Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, you're right. It's interesting. All right, man. Yeah, moving on here. Another one from Roman Ronan. Okay, how can Summer Game Fest that's happening this year improve its digital-only format over last year's?
Stop showing so many fucking commercials.
Yeah, that's how we could do. Okay, make the show about an hour and a half and drop all those commercials, and we'll be good.
Yeah. Like, I know you gotta get. I know just gotta pay the bills, but you know what? Throw a little bug on the bottom corner of it or something that just flashes around, shows whatever commercials you need to show, and just give us the actual games instead of mixing commercials and games, and
Yeah.
even though they're all commercials.
I was going to say, man, I feel like that's asking for a cheeseburger without the hamburger on it. Like it's the commercials are the event, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all ads. It's all ads.
It's like the reveals are pretty much ads.
The trailer for a game that's not coming out
That's
for
an
another
ad.
2 years. It's like, but this is the big reveal. Really? You didn't show much but a logo.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just prefer there be an actual line between the ads and the thing. Like, in other words, I always say, like, even with the Game Awards, it's so difficult to tell what was the advert and the actual content they're supposed to be showing. And to be honest, also the Game Awards is not even supposed to be, ads anyway and reveals. It's supposed to be an award show.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever.
Fucking crazy. Oh, also, he hopes that all of us have had a good 2022 so far. Going good so far, man.
I mean, it's going okay.
I got no complaints on my end.
All right.
Moved into a new house and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing okay.
Yeah, doing okay, man. Doing okay. I was thinking about this. It's fucking wild, dude. Like, I've made more money in the last 6 months than I have in the past 3 years. It's fucking crazy.
Freelance, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Well, if you freelance, if you skill it, bro, you can make some money. But
if certain parts of it, yeah.
If you can skill it, man, because I remember my first year as a freelancer, I was making bank.
Yeah, if you're burning the candle at every single end that you could possibly do it as a freelancer, you can make some serious money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful though.
Gotta be careful, exactly. Yeah.
You can literally, you can kill yourself doing that shit.
You can literally burn the candle.
The highest paid freelancers that I've ever heard of is Hollywood screenwriters.
Oh yeah, those guys make
They'll
money.
come up with something, and then if they sell it, boom, one could be like here.
Yo, there's Hollywood screenwriters. They've never had a movie made, but they make a ton of fucking money.
The studios just buy their stuff. They're like, yo, I sold 4. It's like, which ones are going to be in theaters? I don't know. It's not up to me anymore.
Exactly.
I make it, I sell it, and I'm done.
I mean, that's how David Hayter does it. He's a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Voice of Solid Snake.
Yeah, Carlos, what's up?
Oh, Tony said he's made more money in this last 6 months than he's made in the last 3 years. I've spent more money in the last 6 months than I've spent in the last 3 years.
In the last 3 weeks, you have,
pretty much.
New York, man. That's how it is, bro.
Shit's expensive, bro.
Yep. Life,
Inflation.
man.
Makes you appreciate where you live currently, right?
You mean Brooklyn?
Yeah, yeah, man. Carlos is moving. Watch, it's gonna happen. All right.
Not until he meets Carmen.
Carmen's gonna change
his
Juanita and shit. All right, man. Next question here. Chackzilla, what's up, man? Been a while. Been a while. All right. Does anyone have any experience using Vita emulators for old PS1 and N64 games? Do they really go for $250 with 18,000 pre-installed games? Is it worth buying or just waiting till Steam Deck releases? Mine is Q3. So Vita emulation.
That's an
You can
Adam
do it.
question.
That's an Adam question.
I've done it on 2 of my Vitas, and I put RetroArch on it. And it's fine. It works. I don't know what he's talking about spending all this money. What, you talking about like buying them on eBay where people already did it with the firmware
Apparently,
issues?
again, I could be wrong here. So so apparently, there's an emulator you could buy for $250 with 18,000 pre-installed games. Is that a thing?
I don't know about that. You can just put your own stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
Are you sure he's not talking about the Vita itself? With the
That's
installed.
what I'm thinking. He's trying to. He's
Well,
probably
maybe.
seeing that people are already buying, because the only issue that you could come across with the Vita is the firmware. If you don't have a certain firmware, then you can't put the hacks on it and the mods. But if you get that, once you get that part done, the games. There's plenty of ROM sites that have them, and then even with Vita games, you can find the Vita games online as well. They're out there. So you must be talking about somebody who's selling the whole shebang. Like,
I think that's what it is. I think it's probably
the
Vita
price
stuff.
matches with that. That's what you can expect to pay for a fully loaded Vita.
Yeah. Don't even bother. Wait for the Steam Deck. Just wait for the Steam Deck. You'll do a lot more with that.
Yeah, the Vita doesn't want to let you do, like, Adam can tell you way more than me, but as somebody who fucked with it just kind of recreationally, like, it does everything to try and stop you from making this a successful thing. And you have to jump through every fucking hoop because you're not supposed to do it. Steam Deck, on the other hand, is like, sure, do whatever you want.
Steam Deck is going to be a lot easier, to the point that a lot of those emulators are going to be right there within the Steam OS store. So you don't even have to worry about dealing with all the other headaches that you're going to deal with the Vita. It took me a while to get the whole thing with the Vita. And even then, I rarely played it. I have it now in a drawer, and I spent more time freaking modding and doing all that stuff than I did actually playing it once it was done. It was just turned into a project. But no, you'll be able to play a lot more when it comes to the Steam Deck. Plus, you'll be able to play Saturn games and Dreamcast. The Vita can't pull that off. So, stick with that.
Yeah. All right, man. Next question. Which one is better, the Vita OLED or LCD? OLED all day, every day.
OLED. The only side part, unfortunate part of it is at least the older Vitas do have, they are like pretty much one of the early implementations of OLED. So there are some issues that happen that these were known issues from when they originally came out. Like dead pixels and certain other things. But as far as LEDs in general, it's probably, you would want to go with that.
But I know the advantage the newer Vita has is the charging
battery
cable.
life.
Yeah.
Oh, the charging cable and the battery life.
And the micro, they got rid of that proprietary port.
Yeah.
You could use a micro USB.
Yeah. And the battery life is probably better. I'm guessing because it has no OLED,
No, it's just an LCD with a backlight.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's also lighter. It's also lighter
than
the first Vita too.
Man, I still feel stupid that I didn't buy one before they discontinued them. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy one just to have,
Mm-hmm.
But then
Tony, I might have you covered.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll ship it out as soon as I get those headphones.
Oh shit! Actually, matter of fact, Brett, we'll talk off air. I got you. We'll talk off air. All right. Anyway, next question. Oh, the last two questions are sponsored questions.
Sponsored by whom?
By Mr. Romudeath, very generous fella. So he's sponsoring 2 extra questions here. First one
is this guy coming in like he owns a place.
Yeah, right. No, he's being generous. He sees that some people ask extra questions, so he's like, you know what, I got these guys because they're only supposed to ask 2 questions. So he's being generous.
Let's slide this time.
All right. First up here from Mob Hits, Luigi has one. Mario has one. When does Bowser get his own game?
He already did.
Did he?
Yeah, isn't the Bowser Inside Story?
Oh, okay.
Isn't that his game?
There you go.
I think Bowser had one.
That was an expansion to a Super Mario 3D World game, I think.
But I think he's talking about like Bowser's Adventure or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he had one already.
I vaguely remember one where you saw like the little Bowser. I forget drawing a blank on their names, but yeah, his little family. I swear it may have been an extension, but I will say this: if not now, the current market is ripe for them to release one. So I'd be surprised if they didn't release one soon. Although, to be honest, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, the whole idea of forgiving a bad guy for doing bad things because he has his own issues, I don't know if that we're really in a climate to do that right now.
Yeah, don't redemption arcs anymore. People don't believe in those.
Yeah, like I feel like the Bowser Inside Story was, you also played Bowser as well in there, so.
Yeah, so but it's it's not like a full his own game. You know what I'm saying? Even Wario has his own series. But yeah, open up. Wait,
even
what?
the Wario ones is more like weird mini games.
He means Mob says he goes open world type Mario Odyssey game. He means something like that. No, that does not exist. No.
Never.
Well, no, I mean even Luigi never got that.
Yeah, that's true. He just has his Luigi's Mansion.
He has his own sort of game. I think when it comes to I don't think if you're going to get a Bowser game, it's going to be a game that's sort of unique to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a game because Luigi's Mansion is Luigi's Mansion. It's nothing like the main Mario game.
Well, it's also it's also a different type of game that I don't know if it's so much a Luigi game as it's a Haunted Mansion game starring Luigi.
Yeah, it's a Haunted Mansion game starring Luigi.
So I think you'd see the same thing with Bowser. It's here's a game with Bowser. It's not necessarily Bowser's game. I know it's a weird distinction to make, but
yeah, no, I agree with that assessment. All right, last question of the night. This is from one subset. Why is Konami doing its version of a toe dip back into gaming with the new Turtles collection? We've noticed that with Konami, they're kind of getting back into gaming, but just doing little collections here or there. So
they heard there's money in them in our video games.
I mean, the thing about it is, it's like, I don't think Konami is fully sold on making a AAA game anymore. I think they're looking to make smaller experiences and sort of work that way. I think a lot of that. I think in general they're out of the big AAA development market. And if you look at all of their games currently, from the Yu-Gi-Oh games and all those, the mobile games that they've put out, they're all middleware sort of games. Though they do have that really nice side scroller that they had just put out, which was pretty. But again, it's indie to middle. I don't think you're going to see something on the size of OG Metal Gear Solid games or Silent Hill at its peak. But if you think about it, like when you look at a lot of those older some of those cornerstone franchises and look at the development history of them, when they originally did Silent Hill was destined to fail. It was a bunch of people who had worked on things that weren't able to get to to really. It was all the failures from their other teams thrown onto one team, and they let them do what they wanted to because they kept the what do they call it, the budget low. So I think that just in general, that's the sort of thing you're going to see from Konami. You're just going to see these, like they're going to put out all those old games, and some of the old game things that they do are pretty good. Like the Contra one that they did, they had MT Framework working, not MT, MT Creates or something like that. I can't remember the name of the company that they had it on.
Yeah, I think that's it.
They did, those guys who did are really known for really doing really good ports. So those guys again are going to be doing the new Ninja Turtle, the re-release of all the Ninja Turtle games. So I think that's pretty much what you're going to see out of Konami these days.
I got a derailing thing when we're done here.
Okay. Oh man,
it's relevant.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
I think Manny covered it.
I kind of feel like maybe, just maybe, the landscape for developers is changing as games are turning more into a service. I feel like it's actually probably.
Uh-oh.
Somebody calling.
Oh shit! My dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets are done.
Damn. All right. What are you, 5?
I got mac and cheese bites.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's having the whole thing. You got some hot dogs to eat with those?
I just didn't want to say that because I didn't want to confuse Tony. He's not really sure what mac and cheese is.
No, I know what mac and cheese is. Just that slop, right?
Yeah, that's.
I got questions about the
dinosaur.
dinosaur chicken nuggets, though. Like, what? Are you
They
5?
make them. They make them.
I know they make them. You're saying you realize you're not a kid, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not the important thing. The important thing is, does Adam approve or disapprove?
Oh, yeah, because you like dinosaur. I mean, it's the same species, you know?
It's the same fucking thing. I don't know. I couldn't find the regular ones. I was going through the store and they were on an end cap, and I'm like,
all right, yeah,
cool.
that's fair. That's fair. They taste the same. It don't matter, you know? Except you
I
get
think
to
they might be
you
a
get to
little
play
crunchier
with
because
them.
they have more points.
Get to play with them a little bit. Where are you going? My mouth.
I mean, you have to make them raw before you eat them.
You have to.
Figure that's a rule.
You know? Listen, we don't make the rules. We just live by them.
Okay.
Man. What are you even talking about? Go ahead.
Back to video game stuff. I kind of feel like the landscape
Video
for
games.
developers is changing a little bit. Games are becoming more of a service. I feel like it's actually a little bit safer for them to develop. Now, they may not necessarily make out like bandits if they hit it big, but it kind of insulates them from a bad release, right? Like they get paid no matter what as soon as Microsoft takes it and puts it on their service. You know, it's kind of like Netflix. You know, they're going to make some of their own content. They're going to buy some shit. At that point, it's theirs. If it makes money, it makes money. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make money. And I feel like that kind of might be enticing for people to do a toe dip for, because they could be looking at it like, well, we could make some games and then, you know, just sell those games to a streaming service. And, you know, then it won't matter. You know, we don't have to worry whether you picked up or not.
But I think in general for Konami, they're not like doing just the streaming service only thing.
No. I'm sorry. This is actually kind of a question to you guys. Like, I wanted to hear your thoughts on, now that, you know, games are looking like they're going to become more of a service than a product. Do you think that's going to affect developers and how much they gamble on game development?
Well, I mean, I think since you know, in general, Microsoft seems to be throwing out blank checks when it comes to development, to getting things out. You know, not blank checks, but throwing out, you know, publishing things to get people to develop for them. I think, you know, it'll be like something like the Netflix situation, where, in other words, you'll have a bunch of films and TV series that get funded that probably wouldn't have normally. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's like a double-edged sword, because they want to have content, just like Netflix. That means that there's going to be a lot of things that would get funded that, you know, they're very good ideas and that, you know, may end up hitting. And then there's might also be a bunch of garbage. You don't know. It's because they're casting such a wide net. They're just looking to fill in spaces, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I think that'll, you know, throw more money around. I mean, that's kind of the thing that we need to solve the whole problem right now of people only putting out safe games.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like in other words, like when the development costs get so, you know, get light, you know, people take more chances. You don't need to, you know, if you have a company like Microsoft possibly funding whatever game that you're running, you know, whatever game that you're doing, that means that they're going to go for it regardless. It's an interesting sort of thing. But again, who knows what's the, you know, what is the Microsoft seal of approval like? You know, how do they do it? Are they just looking willy nilly, or are they doing stuff like, you know, specifically targeting things that what they think would work? Who knows?
Yeah, all I know is like the whole games as a service thing it really disturbs me. It really does.
It's a sad thing because it makes video gaming even more disposable.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, obviously if we're like, it's like the difference between a buffet and you know, an actual steakhouse, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, what does Chris always call it? Applebee's. You know, that's what.
It's Applebee's, or it's the you know, again, it's like the buffet where, you know, it has every single thing out there. They're good enough,
Yeah.
but they're not the best they could be.
Exactly.
You know, like, You know, hey, you get the steak over there in one corner, you get this thing on the other corner. They're good, but it's not as good as getting the filet mignon at the really fancy steakhouse. But now, since everything is the buffet of video games, does that mean we're just going to get satisfying stuff or truly great things? That's remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem in general with a lot of entertainment. I feel it's like it's just good. I'm not saying because I even saying good enough is too much of credit. I think it's just a lot of entertainment is just passable, but people don't seem to know any better, or they're just willing to accept mediocrity, so they think it's great and they're happy with it, even though it's objectively not good. You know,
It's kind of like just filling. It's just kind of like just filling up because there's just a lot of food, but
yeah.
not really caring about what that food is.
That's what. Yeah, it's like, oh,
You
look at
know?
all this stuff I have. It's like, yeah, but what about the content, bro? It's like,
Yeah, but what
this
about
is trash. You
That's
know?
why I don't understand when people are going crazy to get a $1,500 video card. And it's like, for what? You're just gonna keep playing the same old
Yeah.
game that really isn't
Yeah.
improved. That
Well,
much.
that's the whole FOMO shit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even though everybody's missing out on those fucking cards, they can't get them. You know,
Mm.
even though things have improved a little bit lately, the prices are at least going down a little bit, but still, you know, it's I don't know. People are weird, dude. You know, people are fucking weird. But again, I know I shouldn't let this bother me so much, but it really bothers me how bland and boring and stupid like entertainment has become. Like you see it all the time, and no, that disturbs me, but the reactions to it disturb me more. Specifically, people going, "This is amazing." No, it's not. It's bad. You know, it's horrible. Like compared to the shit we used to have, and again, it's just ironic. You have your fucking Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, all this stuff. You have access to all this awesome old shit. You don't watch that. You got to watch the latest episode of whatever. You know, whatever
and
trash
then
you're
when you do
watching.
have
Moon Knight is garbage.
You know, and then
when you do have
yeah.
something good, then everybody who sucks at it because they've been taught to do it the way that sucks criticizes you on Twitter.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like now we're seeing active hate for people doing a good job.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that too. You know, it's living weird times, dude. All right, man. I think we're done here.
You need to watch Peacemaker. Peacemaker is good. And
Yeah.
it's refreshing because it's new. It's different. Doesn't follow the formula that we've seen with so many other shows.
Yeah, Peacemaker is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's subversive in all the right ways. It's not like Married with Children subversive where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, they normally go right, so clearly they're going to go left. Peacemaker's it's its own thing. And like the attention to detail, even like the way that the music matches up with the sometimes you'll hear your song lyrics when referring to the situation that's playing out on screen, and the comparison is fucking hilarious. Like, there's a point where he falls out of a building, and like it talks about how much it hurts inside without you. Like as soon as he hits the ground, kind of thing. Like there's little bits. The attention to detail is fucking marvelous, and it has the best opening I've seen in a fucking decade.
Yeah, that whole intro, man, crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. Do you have anything to plug?
Not right now, but you know, as I always say, there's things coming. There's things in the cycle.
Nice. Adam, got anything?
Nope, I'm the plug. Walking Dead is done. We should be back with Fear. by next
Fear.
week. I think Fear comes back next week. So then that's it. But yeah, Walking Dead Mothership is done for at least these 2 cycles. We got one more coming. Who knows when? I think it's a few months down the road going into next year. But if Fear is coming, and of course we got the spin-offs, which I think they're all coming in 2023. So right now we just got Fear. Should be back
Oh,
next
man,
week.
like he's spinning around.
Yeah, right.
And there's like 4 new spin-offs confirmed. That's ridiculous. A spin-off of a spin-off. It's
People
nuts.
love zombies apparently.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I hate when people are like, "Oh, no one watches that shit." Well, tell AMC that shit because they
You
keep
know?
making them. So somebody's watching them.
It's wild.
It's not just me and Rich.
Yeah, right. Or and Carlos, you know. It's funny, man. All right, man. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, and join our Discord where the rumors and the news is always flying. You can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. That's 2 words, Throwdown Show. And you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you have been watching us on YouTube and you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when episodes premiere. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight, I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Next time, I will meet you guys in a different location.
Oh, shit. Viva Peru. Let's come back. All right. Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody. Watch Severance.
Brett Murdoch.
Just been real, people.
And Brian Manjoma.
It's almost 2 weeks and still no sales figure for Horizon 2.
Oh, 2 weeks? Isn't it 2 months, you mean?
2 months.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think, was it, they posted game sales. I didn't even see it in the top 10, so I don't know what's going on, man. Very interesting.
Going on.
It came out of the against Elden Ring. That's what.
Well,
happened.
it actually came out before Elden Ring, but Elden Ring came. It's like, nope, we ain't talking about no Horizon.
It came out too close. It came out close enough that anybody that was budgeting was like, eh.
Yeah, too close, man, too close.
Which, I mean, I was really curious. I'll be honest. As much as I'm a Souls fan, I was fucking curious. I was like, this is like watching kaiju fight. Like, I wonder who's gonna win.
Yeah. Katie and Antonio goes, Rami Death condolences for the Twitter weirdos. I had the Snyder people coming after me today, boy. Those are some weird dudes, man.
Did you got Snydered?
Oh, I got ratioed like a motherfucker by these people, man.
Okay.
It's crazy. But, I muted the thread, so it doesn't matter. I don't see any of that stuff,
See,
so come at me, bruh.
People need to pay attention to Tony. Tony deals with fucking internet toxicity in a really good way. He just
Turn
doesn't.
it off.
I ignore it. It's simple. Wait,
We're still live?
Oh, yeah, we're still live. So anyway, people, we'll see you on Thursday. Peace out.
Later, guys.
Deuces.